One of the largest seizures of Bitcoin in history, 61,000 coins.
They've been tracing her all around the country. She's been here, there and everywhere.
The UK's biggest ever money laundering scam.
Yeah, she won't be out for any time soon.
Where are the coins?
In what is believed to be the single largest cryptocurrency seizure in the world.
The serial fraudster managed to convince 128,000 people, including thousands of pensioners, to hand over their life savings.
Zhimin Qian.
Wanted by Chinese authorities, Qian took the money and fled to Europe.
Exchange bitcoins in Tesco's car park or in pubs.
In the address there was about £300,000 in cash and cheques.
The largest seizure of cryptocurrency by law enforcement in the world.
So Operation Manor concerns the money laundering of a woman named Zhimin Qian, assisted by a male called Zheng Hokling and a woman by the name of Jan Wen. The case is notable because it is the UK's largest money laundering investigation, and the cryptocurrency assets seized, which are over 61,000 Bitcoin, constitute the largest seizure of cryptocurrency by law enforcement in the world.
So the Lancingeri fraud, that was a very large fraud. So it started between 2014 and 2017. It was run by the woman that we thought was called Miss Zhang, but she turns out to be a woman called Zhimin Qian. Miss Qian was an experienced fraudster, having been involved in 2 previous frauds in China. She had not been arrested or charged for those, but she was wanted. So the fraud involved offering people an enormous amount of returns, about 300% return. If you were investing money with this fraud, you would get returns, and you would think, because you're getting the returns, this is honest, legitimate business. So people recommended their friends, families, neighbours, and they all invested as well. A lot of the victims reinvested their profits. Whenever they had money available, they'd reinvest it. This means that a lot of victims would get mortgages against their properties because they were earning so much money. Of course, it was all a scam, and eventually it all collapsed, and all of that money that had been borrowed and invested all disappeared.
Zhimin Qian fled to the UK in September 2017, and the evidence of the lavish lifestyle was sort of visible straight away, really. She flew into the UK, London Heathrow, on a first-class flight from Kuala Lumpur. Didn't have any bags with her. One of the very first things she did was set up a Harrods account. She then spent about £90,000 in 3 months at Harrods, mainly on designer goods, clothing and shoes and things like that. Within a couple of weeks, she'd taken out the tenancy, in a false name, obviously, Yadi Zhang, at a mansion in Hampstead, which was just over £17,000 a month, which she then paid the rent on for the next 3 years. For a large proportion of that time, she wasn't even staying there. So, for example, between January 2018 and October 2018, she spent 9 months in Europe. Again, just travelling around Europe, seeing all the sights, going to museums, staying at expensive hotels, spending lavishly on jewellery in Zurich and places like that. She needed to fund her lifestyle, and one of the ways she would do that would intermittently sell bitcoins to either small exchanges or even people on the street. She would normally get Jan Wen to do the arrangements for her. And for example, we can see that while they were in Vienna, Jan Wen went to an exchange in Vienna and exchanged Bitcoin multiple times, up to about 10 times, and either collected the cash in euros or had the money transferred into Jan Wen's Citibank account. But in reality, this was all Yan Zhimin's money. And even in the UK, Jan Wen was, again, making arrangements with people she met on online forums and exchanged Bitcoins in Tesco's car park or in pubs, and received large amounts of cash to fund their ongoing lifestyle. She was a big note taker. Some of the notes we recovered were very aspirational, and very, very dependent on the price of Bitcoin in the future. But her grandest plans were to buy more jewellery, to buy expensive property. I mean, the houses she was trying to buy over here were, for example, were valued at 24 million and 12 million pounds. She expressed an interest in buying a 23 million pound house in Italy. But one of the sort of standout features was her proposed investment in a micronation known as Liberland, where she wanted to invest huge amounts of money and, you know, build things like hotels and airports there and things like that.
In 2018, some intelligence arrived that showed that there was some money in an account that could have come from crime. So an investigation followed, court orders were obtained, and the information seemed to pan out that it was criminal property. So the account was frozen. Further information was obtained, more court orders, so that we can see the material. And this led to fairly good evidence that crime was happening, and search warrants were obtained then. And my team and I went to search an address called Manor House in Hampstead. In the address there was about £300,000 in cash and cheques. Miss Wen and a lady calling herself Miss Zhang were at the address. There was a lot of digital material that was present. So by digital material, it's laptops, memory cards, as well as paperwork. We established that there was likely to be a lot of criminal property involved, and there were wallets probably on the devices that we couldn't actually get into at that stage, because wallets quite often are subject to encryption, so you need the encryption key to be able to access them. More warrants, more information, and then we were able to get into the wallets and seize the cryptocurrency involved. Zhang, as we knew her at that stage, had gone missing. She'd gone on the run, refused to attend interviews. Miss Wen did get interviewed, and she was eventually arrested and charged. During this time, we seized all of the cryptocurrency, and it was put into a secure location, and Miss Wen had her trial.
During the trial of Jan Wen, DC Chris Woods identified a cryptocurrency movement originating from a cryptocurrency wallet that had been previously identified under Operation Manor, but had been inactive since 2019. This one outgoing payment allowed us to trace the activity of cryptocurrency all the way to an account registered in the name of Zheng Hock Ling. Having identified Zheng Hock Ling in early March 2024, we decided to initiate a manhunt around him based on the operational theory that he certainly seemed to have access to some of the outstanding funds in this case, but also may be in contact with Zhimin Qian herself, who by this point had been on the run since 2019. As part of the manhunt, the cryptocurrency investigation team spent 6 weeks trailing Ling, identifying his movements, his lifestyle, and attempting to corroborate whether he was in fact working for or in contact with Zhimin Qian. This manhunt took us all the way up to the Highlands in Scotland and around various parts of the north of England, finally culminating in Zhimin Qian being identified at an address in York and arrested on the 22nd of April.
One of the key things we needed to prove was that the Bitcoin we seized had originated from fraud in China. That was a very complex part of the investigation, and we needed to, we did use our own resources, like we have track and traces in our own office in the crypto team, but we had to get it verified by a crypto expert, and we had a professor from one of the top London universities who was able to do a huge tracing exercise and portray the evidence in a way that satisfied the court that we could show that the Bitcoin that Yan Zhimin had originally bought between 2014 and 17 did make up the Bitcoin that we'd seized resultantly in 2018. Another tactic we used was we went through Yan Zhimin's laptops. The Chinese had provided us with a list of bank accounts involved in the fraud. I think investors paid in money into, I believe it was 294 different bank accounts, and they received money from 48 bank accounts. We reviewed her devices And again, we found a number of those bank accounts on her laptop, which again supported the account that she was heavily involved in the fraud and that the money or the crypto we seized was criminal property.
Police officers! Police, there you are! Police!
Boot that one.
Police!
Police!
There you are! Yeah, put that on. I want him. Juno present.
Is it Zhimin Qian? What?
We're all police.
Zhimin? Do you speak English? Okay, well, take a deep breath. My name's DC Woods, DS Isabel Grotto from Met Police, okay? We believe you're Zhimin Qian, okay? You're under arrest, you're going to be arrested for money laundering, Section 329 Proceeds of Crime Act.